record the first lecture. Okay, I think we need to get started anyway because we don't get that microphone. The sound, I don't know what to do with it. We'll see if we can do something during the break. So welcome to this lecture. Sorry for being late. We have 2 hours today, and then we have one lecture next week and one lecture week after that. So
this is the same time.
The same time in this room all the time. It's wonderful that you're all that big group because I like this room really, and it's great to start with this course because it's the last, and you have been here for almost 3 years now. And I met you in the beginning when you started. So, and it was great to have you there then, and it's great to have you here now. So, the lecture today, I was thinking that we're going to talk a little bit about, what is this? Okay, this is really an interesting time. It seems to be something interesting going on here. This is what it was supposed to show, and it was just structure. That was really, really nice. So we can't even use the set for the lecture. I don't know what it is. It's just such a day. Okay, so I was thinking we're going to talk about style and typography. It might sound very sort of low-level lecture, but I will show you it's very, very important that you think about these things. Language and writing, how you treat the language, how you write things. And we will talk about the structure, and this is only the first lecture. So then we will go into more how you structure the thesis, and we're talking about what to avoid, what to think about, so things like that. So, okay. Style and typography. Do you think about those things when you read anything? Like when you read a magazine, do you ever think about how annoying it is to read some things or some web pages? If you feel there is something annoying, is there anything you can think about when you look at the web page, or if a magazine, is there something that you think like, oh my God, not that again, or how would they, what did they think about when they did this, or anything? One thing, it's not recording, so you can talk freely. So, something that annoys me is pictures. Especially if it's in the text. When you're reading, you try to get a flow and suddenly there's a picture. Have you, especially nowadays when they give you extra commercial, where you have clicked around, looked at different things, and then suddenly it appears in your text when you try to read something. That annoys me. And actually that's something to think about. Not put the picture in the middle of the text, because that destroys the reading. So that's one of the first rules. Another rule that is when you have pictures is that when you read something, and you read and you read and you read, and then finally came the picture of what you were reading. So, meaning you get it in a visual way after you have maybe read a couple of pages. That doesn't really give you any help. So the picture should be rather early in the text, meaning that you almost one introduction sentence and then the picture, and then you write about the picture, what's in it. A third rule about pictures is that you shouldn't have a picture unless it's really giving some additional to the reading. So don't put pictures that doesn't really belong in the text, because it just disturbs the reading. Something to think about. But that is actually part of the style. So there are some rules, some things that you should think about. And we here try to write reports that somebody else is going to read. And somebody else is either the one that sits next to you, or the company, or somebody may apply for other programs, so you want to maybe attend another master program or something, then you will go there and you will actually show your thesis. That's what they use when they let you start that program. And maybe you will go abroad, then they want your thesis to read it, to see your language, your style, and such a thing. So the thesis is much more important than you may think from the beginning. And therefore it's important, it's something that you are proud of, so you feel like, okay, I can hand this over without problems. You don't want to feel, okay, I can hand this over, but I know it's not really that good. So think about that when you finalize it. And another thing that is important when it comes to style and topography is that you want everything to look the same. If you read a magazine, you want the articles in the journal to be similar. You don't want to break it too much between the different articles, because that will make you just sort of annoyed with it. So you want to have a good flow, and it's the same in the thesis. You should have the same style throughout the whole thesis and make it in balance. I will tell you later more about that. And also, since we talk about many theses, you also, when you get a thesis, you would like all the theses to look the same, because while you probably read a thesis right now is to learn something. And what you want to learn is, how does this student write their background? What can I use to create my own background? What did they do with their research question? What can I do to get my research question? So you want to use different other theses to be able to create your own. And then it's very important that they look the same, because otherwise they will be useless to you. So therefore we have templates here. I don't know if you have seen that already, the template. And that template helps you with, if you look at the beginning, before the introduction, you have some parts that is always there, but not before the introduction. Page 1 starts. And from that page, from page 1, if you use the titles and subtitles, then you can actually automatically create a table of contents. So if you just use the template, it will guide you to what you really need. And I will also show you a little bit about the text inside and why it's important. You see, all the time the text here is, can you recognize the font? You probably know which font it is already. Arial. So we always use Arial when you show something in a PowerPoint. So that's something to think about. And it's always the same style. So you have a bigger title and a smaller text, but it can't be too small, because then the audience can't read it. And you are going to present later on. So think about that when you do the presentation. But Arial is the one you should use there. And the same is in the thesis. So we always use the Arial for the headings and the subtitles. So we have that on different levels, and these are actually decided by KTH Central. So that's nothing we have decided ourselves. So that is the layout the KTH has for everything. So even if you get like a letter from a teacher, you will see that the letter looks exactly the same, because it is the layout. And the same for us, it's the layout also with the logo and everything. And you will see that you have to make your own cover in the end. And that is also with the logo up in the left. And you can't change a lot of things in that template. So that's why we can't change because of the unity of everything. Anyway, so the Arial is very good for the titles, so or headings. But when I said not lower than level 3, means you should never have headings lower than 3 levels. So the 4th level shouldn't be there. And what I'm talking about, the 4th level is like 2.1.3.1, and the same in 2 and so on. Because instead of the 4th level, you should actually use bullets or something you want to stress. And the thing is that what you're going to write is about 40 to 60 pages thesis. And if you have too many headings, it will only be headings in the end. And we don't want that. It will break your text so much so you destroy the whole thesis. So therefore it's only 3 headings and that's it. And then you think of another way of presenting it. And if you want to show something, you can absolutely split it up in another way than using headings. Headings is not the best way